You're listening to Podketeers.
Welcome to episode 409 of Podketeers. This week we got a little carried away not paying attention to the clock, so buckle up folks because this is a longer one than usual. We talked Tron vinyl coming back to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the franchise. Disney drops a new album with some interesting renditions. More Muppets goodness in the form of Lego. We get a teaser trailer for Thor, Love and Thunder. Tarzan's treehouse might be getting reimagined. Plus, we get our first look at the new finale float for the Main Street Electrical Parade. Videos for things that we talk about in this episode can be found at podketeers.com/409. We'd love to hear your thoughts on anything that we talked about in this episode, and you can join the conversation on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, but we'd love for you to join our Discord community. Joining is super simple. Just head over to the blog post for the episode and click on the Discord logo, or click on the link in our pinned IG story. A very special thank you goes out to an awesome group of people known as the FGP Squad, our podcast Fairy Godparents, because it's their support via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers possible. As part of the FGP Squad family, you get some additional perks like access to the Podketeers After Show, discount codes for Podketeers gear, access to our happy hour calls, just to name a few. For more info on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, we invite you to check out podketeers.com/FGP. And as always, a super special thank you goes out to the FGP Squad for their continued support. So that's it. We're going to try to keep this one short because, like I said, it's a much longer episode than usual. We're going to serve you up a heap and helping of this week's episode, and we're going to get this thing started. So here we go. Here is episode 409 of Podketeers. Clap.
Thanks, so. I am your Saint of a Grand. No, Clue the movie? Nobody? No?
I remember Clue the movie.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
That's a stacked cast. Tim Curry, Madeline Kahn, other people.
I just recently found that film used for $2 on DVD.
I have the Blu-ray.
Do you really?
And the DVD. Yeah, I've done the play, like the stage version before, and I did it in high school. And yeah, I've always just liked the movie, so it's a silly fun time.
I want to say that it's on Hulu.
Yeah, it's on some streaming.
Yeah.
Martin Mull's in it. A guy named Leaving. I think that's a very funny name.
It's a good film.
Leaving. Yeah.
It's one of the only board games, also, by the way, that I really enjoy playing. I'm not huge on board games. I will play them. I'm a very situational board game player. If we happen to be in a group that, it's like everybody's like, yeah, board game time, or if like my wife and my kids really want to play a board game, I will normally play with them. But I tend to stay away from it. It's not like the first thing that comes out of me where I'm like, oh, we should all play a board game. Because board games, as fun as they can also be the downfall of society.
Well, that's mostly Monopoly is the big culprit.
Oh boy,
true.
Fighting game.
Who's your character in Monopoly? Or not in Monopoly? I'm sorry, in Clue.
Colonel Mustard.
That's me too, Colonel Mustard.
Nice.
You gotta be Colonel Mustard.
Nice.
What about Larry? You play Clue? You gotta
Never played or
Professor
watched
Plum.
the movie. None of them.
Professor Plum,
Never
played
done
by Christopher Lloyd, a subject of. He goes, "It's you and me, honey bunch." In the movie.
I've got to get into this.
No,
Dang.
I got a whole in the office I'm in right now. The whole wall over here is just like board games and puzzles. So we got all kinds of board games.
I got too sucked in Candyland, I guess.
Apples to apples.
Cranium is so good, dude.
Dice Capades, Quelf, Magic Maze. Oh, that's a fun game. You guys, people, if you haven't tried out Magic Maze, that game's kind of fun. I got all the Villainous. Well, they're my wife's, but Villainous, all the Disney Villainous. Yeah, all kinds of games. I'm off the mic. I realize on the side, so hopefully everybody heard me.
See, that in particular, there's a couple games that you mentioned, like Villainous, for instance, that I haven't had an opportunity to play and, really enjoy the game. Yeah. But one of the things I'm looking forward to when we can finally have the space and have, everybody over to record is play a game or something in person.
Yeah.
Because I want to play the Haunted Mansion game with you guys. I want to play the Jungle Cruise game that I got with you guys. I mean, it seems infantile, but damn it, the It's a Small World board game is also fun. I also want to play that with you guys. And then, of course, there's, Villainous and all those other games that I want to play.
I have the Disneyland Monorail board game.
Shut up. There's a monorail board game?
Hold on. I'm going to roll over and get it. Hold on.
Larry, did you know there was a monorail board game?
I sure didn't. I mean, it sounds like something you'd buy at Disneyland.
It does sound like that.
I mean,
walking around Main Street.
Yeah, that would be like an easy seller. But I'm psyched to see what this even looks like. Just the artwork.
Oh.
So where did you get this at?
The Disneyland Monorail game.
Oh, that looks like it's from the 80s, man.
It's a repop of a game, I believe, from the 60s or 70s. I got it at a yard sale.
Wow.
And it's very simple, but the artwork is pretty cool. You got the subs and like the TWA Rocket to the Moon. Parker Brothers. But it's the
Parker Brothers.
the board is Disneyland. And you
that
just
is
go
cool.
around through the monorail. So it's a cool
That's
game.
pretty cool. That's a relic right there.
So,
oh, wow.
Copyright 1960 is the
Wow. That's
which
amazing.
it can't be right. I think that's just an old copyright because, as we all know, the monorail was in 1965, right? I got the number right. Yeah, 1965. Monorail.
If we only had a quiz show on the network.
Yeah, really.
Matterhorn and the subs. That's 65. So this copyright is wrong.
Hey,
I got a
Clue?
cool game.
Clue has. I remember seeing in the Nintendo eShop that there was a game called Cluedo. That's supposed to be like an online multiplayer version of Clue. And it's supposed to be cross-platform. Like they're supposed to have, they have like an iOS and Android version. They also are supposed to have like a Steam version for PC and the Switch version. I don't know what the cost is or anything like that, but I know that when it was on sale in the eShop, it was like $4 or something like that. But if I remember correctly, they had like season passes or something like that where you had to purchase additional games or boards or something. I'll look into it. I almost feel like if we can pull off like a digital Clue game with the FGP Squad like we do like the Jackbox games, I think it could be a fun thing to do on one of the calls.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. That'd be cool.
So Cluedo, I know a little bit about this because when I did the show, but so Cluedo is actually the like British version of Clue. They're the same like board game.
Oh, okay.
But it's just called something different. And I believe that they had like a game show as well in England or in Britain somewhere called Cluedo. But yeah, it's the same game as Clue. I believe that's the British name for it, as opposed to Clue here in the States.
Awesome. Well, yeah. I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna see what it costs and to see if there's like a version we could get where it allows all of us to play, where maybe I control it for everybody or something. And then if I can get it running, maybe on the next call that we're doing, since that's coming up, maybe we can play Cluedo. Yeah. And if not, we'll just default to Jackbox. I know that there was a couple of games in the latest pack that we still haven't had an opportunity to play, so it'll be fun.
Oh, here's a Cluedo is a play on the words clue and the board game Ludo. So there's something.
You had to solve a lot of questions from people right now.
People were wondering. They were. What does it mean? Wikipedia
Ludo.
Told us. The board game
was one.
Ludo. And Ludo, if you didn't know.
No,
it's a strategy board game for 2 to 4 players in which a player races through 4 tokens. And it's a board game. Anyway,
there was a villains Clue game that at one point I wanted to get, and there's
a Haunted Mansion Clue as well.
But it's with the Disney characters, right? It's not like the mansion characters, if I remember correctly.
I'm gonna look it up.
I think it's like the Fab Five are the main characters in that one.
Yes, it looks.
It doesn't matter.
It looks like that, and then It looks like that, and then I think the ghosts are like the weapons.
Yeah, it's a little
Whoa.
bit of a twist on it, but I think
It's
there's
actually
that one.
the Sensational Six, Heyzen.
Oh, sorry.
Daisy's in there for 6
I like it.
players.
Okay, all right. Well, good to know.
There you go.
So I know that there's that one. They had the villains one, and I think they made a Star Wars version at one point. But I don't know if they're all in print. I'm sure that they're all, you have to buy them on eBay or something at this point because they've been around for some time. I guess the ones you tend to find a lot of are Monopoly and the Game of Life. Those are the ones that you tend to always find. Monopoly especially. The last time we were in the park, those were the two that I remember seeing when we were walking around the stores. But I don't see... Oh, wait. There was a Pirates of the Caribbean something. What was it? I know I probably have a photo in my photo gallery because I was going to send it to you. And then I didn't because something distracted me. Oh, I know. So I remember taking the photo thinking, oh, this is a cool board game. And then I remember turning around and seeing the Disneyland monorail or the Disneyland Railroad train, like the little model trains that they have. And I'm like, ooh, shiny. And I walked over to that box, and I never sent the photo of the board games. But
Yes, it looks like there's a Pirates of the Caribbean Game of Life.
that's what it is. Okay. So, yeah.
Man,
I
that's
mean,
sold in the park?
yeah,
Or
they
is that
sell
just
it
like
in
a
the park.
Target or something.
That okay? Then that's nice. This is a Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest. So
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about
Okay.
right. I'll find the photo, and then I will confirm that's what I saw. But I remember specifically seeing it and thinking to myself, oh, man, I have to buy this. But anyway, I'll post it in the Discord server if anybody wants to see the board game. But we saw it at, not at Disneyland. We actually saw it at Elias and Company in DCA.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I hardly look in that area. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like there's a Disney Parks exclusive Pirates of the Caribbean battleship.
Oh, that sounds
man.
familiar too.
I'm missing out.
I'm looking
This is
at
a
all
board
kinds of
game.
stuff. Battleship, Stratego,
I've never seen
um,
Stratego anywhere.
Scrabble. I don't know where you get Pirates of the Caribbean Scrabble. Is it just like the tiles have little skulls on them or something?
Everything has an R.
Yeah, it's only
That's good.
only pirate words are allowed.
Oh,
That's
man,
funny.
That's good.
Scallywag is an 80-point word.
That'd be cool.
They could just do like Disney Parks attractions. Guess Who? Like that would
Oh,
be
yeah.
a very,
Oh, that is a
like,
great-
easy
here we
game
go.
to do
Here we go.
per attraction. I mean, especially like Mansion and like Pirates, where there's like a lot of characters.
Does your attraction have ghosts?
No, you do like
Well,
one
you have the
for
people,
yeah, like,
the characters inside the
yeah, like
attraction.
each attraction has its own version because they have so many characters. Like
Does your
Are you-
attraction have a hatchet?
yeah.
Oh, there you go. Wow.
Does your character have a beard? Oh, wait a minute.
Does your character like to sit on a barrel?
Does they have your character have an affinity for rum?
Always asking for it.
Hairy feet?
Oh,
Here, kitty, kitty.
It's with old Bill, all right.
that's good.
All right. Well, we should move on from board games because we have other stuff to talk about, including some music stuff that was recently announced, some new releases on Spotify. And honestly, this is a great time for what we're about to talk about because a long time ago in a kingdom far, far away, I lost my old vinyl player, my old record player. Don't know what the heck happened to it. Honestly, I really don't know. I feel like it was swallowed up by the ground. The point is that for a really long time, I've had all these Disney vinyls that I have not been able to listen to. They're just stored away. And this weekend, my brother upgraded and he says, "Hey man, you want my old Victrola?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And so he brought it over, and now I have a method to listen to that vinyl. And I'm so happy that I can finally break those out again.
Is it like a all-in-one
Yeah.
deal, or is it? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's nothing fancy, But the ability to finally listen to those vinyl pieces again,
Yeah.
I think is fantastic. And one vinyl that I don't have is actually one of the topics for today. For the 40th anniversary, Tron Legacy and the Tron Legacy Reconfigured albums are getting vinyl repressings.
But the 40th anniversary of what? Of Tron. The original Tron.
Yeah.
Tron, the original Tron.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so cool.
I mean, I don't mind getting what we're getting.
Yeah, no, I'm just making sure.
But vinyls are like on another level right now. Like that is blowing up all over again for some reason. I mean, it never really goes out of style. I just think what happens is there's certain levels like it goes onto where people are like collectors, and then it becomes a popular item again. And I think it's getting to a popular item again. So it's really cool to see that Disney's in tune with that, and they're doing this slow. I'm gonna be in anything Tron. So I'm stoked about it. I'm probably not gonna go out and get a record player like anyone else, but it would be cool just to hear what it sounds like on record. I like hearing what it sounds like. That's the cool part.
Well, yeah. What like the big thing with records and vinyl is they are lossless.
Mm-hmm.
They're an analog medium where everything that is recorded is put on the vinyl, and so if when you transfer things digitally, things get squared off. To put it in weird terms, but you lose bits of data because everything is getting put into little boxes. And so with vinyl, you get everything that was like you heard in the mix in the headphones when they were mixing it in the room, and put it through everything, and it got pressed into that vinyl. So that's like the big thing why vinyl is having this whole big resurgence. I remember talking to a couple people in record stores, and they're saying, yeah, vinyl's outselling every other physical medium in their stores at certain points, because that's what people are coming in to buy new. People aren't buying CDs really anymore.
No.
Some people do for whatever reason, if it's a new thing, they want to support their artist or whatever, but the vinyl is the thing that people are coming to actually like to get. That's what's selling. It's going off the shelves. The vinyl sections are getting bigger, the CD sections are getting smaller. They sell vinyl in like Target and Walmart now, so you can get it all over the place.
Yeah, the fact that you can see this huge section where magazines and CDs used to be at a Target, that shows
So
the
crazy.
huge shift, right? And yeah, I mean, like you're saying, the fact that it's lossless is great, because there's albums like this. When they recorded this was an 85-piece orchestra, for this album. So
cool.
if you're on a really nice set of headphones with the vinyl of this album, you are going to hear all 85 pieces of that orchestra. Whereas what Andrew was talking about just a moment ago, because it's compressed on a CD, you can hear a lot of it, but you're probably going to get half of those instruments, because some of them kind of get muddied and they kind of blend into each other. There are exceptions, I think, that if you have, Dolby Digital Audio, where they're able to split the channels, or you have surround sound where, you could split the center, left and right, rear, and all that stuff, then you can add a little more depth to what you're listening to. But man, listening to something on vinyl is just uncomparable.
Well, and it's too like there's different, like, so vinyl is like the top tier, and tape as well. Tape is fairly high up there with the analog medium. Then CD actually is not as bad as like MP3. MP3 is like the worst quality audio you can get.
Yeah.
When it comes to like trying to hear everything, so you'll lose bits, you'll lose nuance, you'll lose tone when you transfer these things over. And then just with computers in general, stuff just starts getting weird when you make copies of copies of copies of copies, so you can get a real crunchy copy of a song that's
Crunchy.
yeah, it just sound weird and mushy and muddy and all the weird sound guys terms that everybody jokes about. Oh, he knocked over the monorail board game.
Speaking of sounds,
Yeah. But so that's the big thing about vinyl, and I'm not anywhere close to a audiophile. I just happen to know a lot of people that are in the sound business and know a lot about it, so I've gleaned a lot from them. So it's really interesting to just think about. Oh, there's a bump in this piece of vinyl that makes a sound that's a guitar or whatever, and that's all that needle does is just run over bumps.
Yep.
And it sounds like stuff happens.
Tiny ridges.
Yeah, and there's like I mean, there is lossless audio too. I'm like getting way in the weeds of this. FLAC. If you've ever heard of FLAC, yeah, free lossless audio content. I don't know what the C stands for, but something like that. It's a digital version of getting as close to vinyl as you can. You still lose things because things are in digital, because things are ones and zeros as opposed to an analog medium where there's whatever. Anyway, I must stop talking about
no, but you're right. There
stuff.
is
Like there's merit to getting these things on vinyl.
Yeah.
If you have the right way to listen to them.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to put your vinyl and then just like rip it to your computer, then there's no really difference. You're not going to, because some of those players you can do that now, the more modern ones.
Yeah.
I have in storage. I don't have it with me. My dad's or my uncle's like Technics record player from turntable from 1987 or whatever, and a pair of I have the whole 1987 setup in storage with like a stack of records.
Time to break that out, man.
It's
Yeah.
With the 8-track deck at the bottom.
Oh,
I got a 32 band equalizer
Heck
and
yeah,
everything. Man. But so toys are fun.
Yeah.
And records are cool.
Yeah. I know. I mean, there's always people trying to add to, the lossless audio thing. Compression methods change and make them better. Like you said, even like if you have Spotify, they give you the opportunity to download at different bit rates, at different qualities, so that if you're permanently streaming and you don't want to keep it on your device, you're not downloading a lot, but you can still enjoy the music. But if you're downloading it to your device and you want something higher quality, you can get it at a higher bit rate, so it has a lot of that detail. Years ago, Neil Young tried to standardize like this brand new file type with a brand new player called Pono. And he was trying to create his own version of an MP3 style file that was recorded at like 24-bit, 192 like kilohertz, and it was supposed to emulate vinyl like no one's business, but in a digital file. And the whole thing was that the compression method was better, if not equal to the MP3 compression, except it was lossless. But you needed the specific player in order to get them, to take advantage of the audio file. And I think it died at some point. I don't think it went anywhere. But, I mean, all of that technology, I think, gets incorporated. Big companies buy that tech out. They use these algorithms in order to be able to have better compression methods to deliver audio and video and stuff like that easier, with different services that are always available. And especially now that there's so many people, working from home, and the bandwidth is getting tighter and tighter because there's many households that don't have like one or two computers anymore. Like you may have your computers, you may have phones and tablets and IoT devices. And so there's households that have, 50 plus devices that are using the internet. So bandwidth is a precious thing. And if you can figure out how to deliver music in high fidelity, but using the least amount of bandwidth possible, I mean, that's money right there. Right. And so I think that's where all this technology eventually goes. But so, yeah, long story short, I got a record player, guys, and I'm like super psyched about it because I can listen to this vinyl. I don't have dates for the release of the Tron Legacy albums, but I will post it in the blog post for this episode, podketeers.com/409. We will also post it on the Discord server. If you're not a member yet, super easy to join us. Head on over to Instagram. You'll see a pinned story with a link to our Discord, and you can join the community by clicking on that link. And, let's have a conversation because there's tons of great music, and Disney itself has a huge music catalog. Maybe we should start a music channel on the Discord. I don't think we have one of those yet.
Hot off the presses, the pressings will be distributed on May 27th.
Oh, yes. So that's not very far away. We're about a month and a week-ish from the release of this episode.
Yep.
Sweet. I love it.
You can pre-order it on Amazon, it looks like, possibly.
Oh, right on. What's the price for pre-order?
It looks like this is vinyl $25.
That's not bad. That's good. That's a
Is
decent
this
price.
the right one? I might be looking at I don't know. This just says Tron Legacy vinyl. I don't know. It says I can get it now, so I don't know if this is even the right one.
Well,
$25.08. I can buy it now. Get it here Wednesday.
listen, if you are so inclined as to getting this album on Amazon, if you want to help us out, you're still going to pay the money to Amazon, but you can use our affiliate link to purchase it by going to podketeers.com/Amazon. You can click on the Amazon button. And again, it's not going to cost you anything extra, but because you used our link, Amazon will give us a little
4
bit of
pennies.
money. You know, yeah, I mean, it's a few cents that over time definitely helps us out. But yeah, I mean, if you want to help out, podketeers.com/Amazon, you can hit the Amazon button before you make your purchase, or any Amazon purchases if you are, if you'd like to help us out like that. Another album that was recently released, and I know we talked about it an episode or two ago. We never actually had a chance to talk about it on one of the podcasts, but the Mouse Pack album. This was a total surprise because it was on the heels of the Lo-Fi Mini album. Look, I love the Rat Pack. I love Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and all that stuff and all the members of the Rat Pack. I never once thought to myself, you know what they should do with those songs? Have Mickey and the gang sing those. And yet they surprised us with this album called The Mouse Pack. Mickey and Friends Sing Classic Standards. And it's a thing that exists.
It sure exists, that's for sure.
Yeah. Have you each had an opportunity to listen to any of the songs on the album?
I have. I've listened to the whole thing, but I'm gonna leave my comments until you guys are done.
I've listened to it as well. I don't know if I listened to the whole thing through, but I've definitely listened to select pieces of the album for sure.
All right, so I'll start. So here's what I think. I think it is. I never thought I would ever need this in my life, but after listening to it a few times, I feel like I can't do without it now. Because it is common Disney characters singing songs that I'm familiar with, that I really enjoy. If I have to select who the best singer is of all the characters, it's definitely Daisy, because Daisy's voice sounds as close to non-cartoony, most human as possible. So all of the songs that include Daisy are absolutely amazing. Those are the best songs on there. Listening to Donald sing is something else. There are times that you obviously can't understand what he's saying because it's Donald, right?
That's the good part, yeah.
But it's also part of the charm. Exactly. That is the good part. It reminds me of all the Christmas albums and all the stuff that they all sing on together. And, you know, for the most part, things like the Christmas album, Halloween stuff, I grew up with that, and so it makes it easy to position in my head as something that the Disney gang would do. But this is something on a totally different level. Like I feel like, what's next? Like, are they gonna start breaking out like Disney Channel stars like Lizzie McGuire and, you know, Selena Gomez songs or something? Like I don't know where this is gonna go.
Not a bad idea.
Well, you got to go like in progression of the years. So it starts with like the Rat Pack, and then it goes to like the Woodstock album, and then it goes to like the hair bands, and then you know, you got to go in like you know, progressions. Then you get to like boy band, and then you know, then you get to the Disney Channel songs, I guess.
I want to hear Donald singing Pineapple Princess.
I can't do it. No, I was gonna try and do it. No. They call me the Pineapple Princess.
No, nailed it. You got it.
Yep.
You got the job.
Those were no words at all.
Close enough.
Nope. Anyway.
All right, so your thoughts on the album?
Track 1 is just my favorite. I'm pretty sure it's track 1. Just Ain't That a Kick in the Head by Goofy.
Yeah.
It's just like it's just ridiculous. Just Bill Farmer doing Goofy, just being Goofy, and the song's great. He does a good job, and it's just a fun thing to listen to. The whole album is just it's just like a silly fun time. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and I think that's the appeal of it. It's like, okay, it's going to sound weird when Donald sings whatever. I don't remember the song he sings. I think it's
he does Let's
like
Call the Whole
Dean
Thing Off
Martin?
with Daisy.
And then
he does One for My Baby.
That's the funnier
Yeah.
one, but it's a solo by himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like the Daisy songs are good. They're just good standards. And then all the rest of them are, Mickey and Minnie. It's Mickey and Minnie, you can tell. But the Donald and the Goofy ones are the ones that stand out for me as just being silly and fun and ridiculous. And I like it.
It's like segue perfect because number 1, Ain't That a Kick in the Head. I'm a Goofy fan. Beyond any character of the Fab Five, or what was the term you just coined?
Sensational Six.
Sensational Six. So that first track, yes, it pulls you in on kind of this. You're gonna get into this record for all the right reasons of Disney's like paying homage to the older part of the '90s kid in me, where they had these like fun twists on songs like you're talking about, and Goofy just nails it. There's some parts in there when he's like doing a part of the singing, like I think he's actually trying to sing not normal in Goofy's voice, but like in his voice sometimes, like he's trying to keep it in a tone where it sounds not too outlandish, right? But it comes through so good. It just, I close my eyes and I can hear like Goofy, and that's the key about it. And it hits, like as the kids say, it slaps on every level. But my favorite song is the friendship song with Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, and Goofy. That was like, when I talk about nostalgia and you talk about these nostalgia tracks bringing these back, that one got me in the nostalgia movie. And when I hear Daisy Duck's version, How About You, that made me want to listen to like a Mike Bublé album. That's what me and my wife are like, listening to these like style, like the piano lounge style music. That it was funny because we hear the songs, that's what we hear, like Mike Bublé, Frank Sinatra, the Rat Pack, really, that you hear the original. Yeah, Seth MacFarlane. Perfect. The dog from Family Guy. No, I'm just kidding. They kill it. So I thought it was just a really nice thing. Like you said, Heyzen, I am like totally on board if this turns into like a bigger thing. We start seeing it spin off on other things, because it does feel like a part of something that we've seen in the past, but not done to this awesome level of just having comedy, yet having a taste that is the Disney vibe or taste that you want to hear. That when you listen to it, you put on the. I did once again. I was getting ready to go to the park, and I put this on right before I got to go. This was what I was listening to, because first it was the Disney Lo-Fi, and then this time I was like, I'm gonna try listening to this. That after you guys showed me, I was like, I'm gonna wait till I go to the park to see how this feels to listen to, and it was perfect. It was interesting.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like this is going to be one of those albums where they might have it playing at like a Dapper Day Expo or something like that while people are walking around, because it has that vibe, right? But I almost feel, you mentioned Bill Farmer, voice of Goofy, a little bit ago, Andrew. I almost feel like this album wasn't something that Disney marketing was like, you know what we're going to do? This is the album we're going to put out. I feel like this album came about because at some recording session, Daniel and Bill and Brett were all just like horsing around, and Bill's like, ain't that a kick in the, and like all of a sudden they all jump in, and somebody heard and they're like, that's happening. Boom, that is happening right there.
Yeah, that improv. That's they were like, this would be awesome,
right?
Just to throw that out there. And they're right, because if you just put it on in a moment when you're not at like anticipating anything. That's why I say don't go into this having any kind of any kind of anticipation of anything, but yet knowing it's a Disney piece of music. And I think you'll appreciate it just as much as all three of us did. And I'm pretty sure Melissa did too.
Yeah. So we'll leave a link to the Spotify album on our Discord server, also in the blog post for this episode, podketeers.com/409, if you're interested in listening to it. But it's really interesting. We'd love to hear what you think about it. And if there's a particular song that really stands out and that you'd like, let us know which song that is. We'll see if we can get some common ground on which is possibly the most popular song on the album, according to us and our listeners.
So if you had to pick another song, song from, let's say, from the 60s to the 90s, if you had to pick one song and pick a song and a character that you think you'd want to hear, like on a new album, what would that be?
Oh, man, that's hard.
So, like, the first thing that came to my mind was, like, Donald Duck singing Purple Rain. I don't know why, but it would just be, like, ridiculous.
Oh, my gosh. That's good.
That's in my head now. Oh, man.
So
there's so many iconic songs. Like, how do you even...
You can go later. Like, Heyzen wants, like, Goofy singing Taylor Swift. That's what it's going to be, right?
You know what? I
would
would love something like that. I think eventually you're going to have some of the characters doing music that's, current, like pop music, right? But, like, imagine listening to Goofy do Piano Man by Billy Joel.
Yeah.
I think
good.
that would be really good. I don't know how I would feel about Mickey doing Brown Eyed Girl. Oh, Donald and Goofy doing The Joker by Steve Miller Band. Some people call me the Space Cowboy. That was horrible, but I'm going to go with it.
Couldn't have been worse than that.
Or
and some people call me Maurice.
Woo! Yeah, look, the possibilities are endless, right? Like,
I'm going 90s grunge. I want to hear, like, Donald.
as
Maybe
you
like
are,
as
you
like,
were.
yeah,
As
or
I
like ironic. Yeah.
Minnie or Daisy doing ironic?
Yeah, seriously. It's like Ray. Dude, I'm into it. Like 90s rock. Because that'd be so cool, like grunge. I think that's a real cool album.
I don't even want to try to emulate the Donald voice, but I imagine Donald trying to do like a Green Day song from...
Oh, oh my God, it'd be so good.
Yeah, or like Daisy and Minnie doing like an Alanis Morissette album or something.
The whole
like,
thing, yeah.
The whole thing, just like a cover.
So good.
Oh, okay. Well, so let's stack on the other question, right? So join us on Discord. Let us know what your favorite song on this album is. And then on top of that, let's throw Larry's question in there. Or I'm sorry, Andrew's question, right? Andrew's question, sorry. And ask, what character are we sticking to the 6, or are we... what if Elsa wants to do like 9 to 5 or something?
Yeah, that makes it like really complicated. Let's keep it in the 6.
Okay, let's keep it to 6. So
you can throw Roger Rabbit in there if you want, just because.
Oh wow.
Okay, throw Roger
Chip
Rabbit.
and Dale. You can get a couple of them in there, but like in the main group.
Let's keep it to the 6, but let's keep it to this other 12 also.
Yeah, just whoever Andrew wants. Not Elsa. Come on. What if Baloo sang the theme to Happy Days? Ooh.
Oh wow. There you go.
Oh, you know what I would want to hear? I would want to hear Daisy or Minnie do Landslide. I think they could pull that off.
Donald sings Wrecking Ball, like
full-blown Miley Cyrus swinging and everything.
Yeah.
I was thinking them just singing like show tunes that weren't necessarily like Disney theme songs, like like the Munsters singing that.
Oh, theme songs. And I've been like show tunes, like Broadway, like
Golden Girls theme song. Thank you for being a friend.
Goofy sings the Phantom of the Opera.
Dude. The Golden Girls theme. You're right.
Yeah,
they could all sing the Golden Girls theme.
Thank you for being a friend.
Yeah, there you go.
Hold me closer, Tony Danza. That's what it says, right?
Yeah, Tony Danza. That's the.
Okay.
That's
so yeah.
Yeah.
There's a bad moon on the rise.
Oh, that would be so good.
There's a whole Creedence Clearwater Revival album.
Do you want to hear something
Anyway,
crazy? You want to hear something crazy?
Yes.
I know that we're not throwing
Definitely.
Pluto in there, right? But
Well, he's part of
Well,
it.
he is part of
Just
it.
the whole Pluto album.
But the thing is, like, would people be like, oh, well, Pluto's gonna bark, he's a dog and stuff like that? But in early comics with Pluto, like he had full blown sentences.
Yeah.
So does that mean that he's just holding back because he's like, I don't need this. Like, I get everything I need from Mickey. Like, he feeds me. I got a place. Like, has he just gotten complacent or something? Or
maybe it's the long game.
oh,
Yeah.
maybe.
Pluto sings "Atomic Dog" by George.
Nice.
I forgot his name.
By George Clinton.
George Clinton. There you go. Yeah.
Atomic Dog.
That's so good. Okay.
Atomic. Yeah.
Okay,
nice.
so that is going to be the question. So on top of the fact of which track do you like from the Mouse Pack album, which character would you like to hear sing what song?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's add that. Join us over on Discord. Join the community. Join the conversation. We'd love to hear your thoughts on both of those. We might just have to open a Discord like music channel so we could just talk all music stuff on that particular channel. I think it'll be fun.
Sure.
People can share their collections and vinyls, and that we're putting a pin in that one because I'm totally gonna do that. Let's see what else we got. Let's hop over to the Muppets.
Yeah.
Speaking of singing talent.
Right. So we've recently been talking a lot about the Muppets. They're going to be on Holy Moly. There's a lot of talk, like just everywhere about the Muppets. There are now blind Lego packs for Muppet figures available for purchase. There are 9, 12? How many are there?
I think it was 12.
It's 12, right?
12.
Yeah.
4. Yeah, 4, 3. Sorry. 12.
9, 3, 11, 14.
Well, 4 times 3, because I see 3 rows of
Okay,
4.
yeah. So there's 12 of these characters.
Minifigs.
They're about $5 a pop. You can get them at places like Target, Walmart, and stuff like that. $60 if you get the entire set of characters, if you're lucky enough to get them all in one swoop. Or is this something that you just aim to get a couple of the characters you most like? Like, what are your thoughts first on the characters, and what do you think about trying to get the whole set or just the ones that you like?
So when you say $60, you mean they're like $4.99 a pop?
They're at $5
like
each one because it's a blind
Okay,
pack.
just to clarify,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure because like some people might be like, "Oh, I thought 12 came in there." I just want to make sure that everyone knows. So yeah, it would take at least $60 because, like you said, it's a blind type bag, which I know they do this a lot. Well, I think it was inspired a lot overseas, like in China and Japan. Like this is where that whole blind bag purchasing thing started from, which now is like culture pretty much here too, of certain releases on these kind of things. And I'm not a fan of those things. I know some people love it. I think there's a lot of like Funko Pops does this too with their soda pop items and stuff like that, where you don't necessarily know you're going to get the character, but you might get like a collectible version of it. Now, when I'm in a part of where I don't even know what character I'm going to get, that's where we're at with this, the Muppets. I'm a little bit hesitant to be excited because I ain't trying to be, a negative Nancy, but, if I'm at least going to get one, I'm going to want, one that I have a closer attachment to. Like, but if I end up with a bunch of, I'm sorry, guys, the scientist or
Bunsen.
Dr. Bunsen,
Beaker.
Honeydew,
Dr.
and
Bunsen,
Beaker.
yeah. I'm cool with Beaker. I'm cool with that. I didn't say that, but and then I'm always gonna want animal. I mean that's key.
Yeah.
Like if I could get one of those, but I'm not gonna go all in on the 12 with you, like you said, Heyzen. I'm not gonna go on the 12. I would try like probably 3. I'd buy 3 and just see which ones I get.
I will say that of all of the characters, Animal is probably going to be the most recognizable because on top of the fact that you get the minifig, you also get a drum set.
The little drum set. Yeah.
So if you can
so
feel
cool.
the bag and kind of distinguish that you got the drum set in there, it's going to be easier to figure out that you have Animal.
Idea. Well, maybe they break up. I don't know this, but maybe they like take the symbol. Like you're gonna have to put the symbol. And
You have to assemble it. Like it's the drum set's like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 6 pieces.
6 pieces
to like make the little drum set. So it's gonna be a bunch of pieces, but that's the only one that has like a weird round brick in it because everybody
Good
has
point.
like a a like accessory. It looks like 2 accessories.
Yeah.
One or
chicken.
2 accessories.
Gonzo
Chicken.
has
If you feel
Camilla.
a chicken, you got chicken. Yeah.
you
got chicken.
got Gonzo.
Got Gonzo. That's what. Yeah. But yeah, I it's hard because I'd love to like just get all these, and I've got some practice about feeling the like bags to kind of guess, and everybody's got similar like or like different head shapes. So you like, especially like Gonzo and like Beaker, you should be able to like tell like head shape wise.
Yeah.
You would think. I mean, they're very small, but I'd love to have all these. But I think if I was to get like 1 or 2, I'd go for like Statler and Waldorf.
Yes!
I think. Like
Yeah.
Statler
Right
Waldorf,
there with
like
you.
like there's a
Those
whole
are
back
good.
row that I think I'd get. Like it's the Swedish Chef, Statler Waldorf, and Rolf, and then maybe Fozzie because I like Fozzie.
Yeah.
Those would be my like top 5.
My top 3 would be Statler and Waldorf and Animal.
Yeah. Those are
Sorry, everybody else, Kermit.
good. We should say who's on here, right?
So yeah, so it's so I'll list these in the row that's got Kermit, and he comes with a banjo and a rainbow.
Oh.
Gonzo comes with Camilla, and that's it.
the chicken.
Fozzie Bear comes with a banana
Mic
and a
stand.
mic stand with
Oh,
a
yeah.
microphone.
Oh.
Miss
Yeah,
Piggy
Waka
with
waka.
a Miss Piggy magazine. Janice comes with her bass.
Yeah.
Animal comes with a drum set with sticks. Looks like Beaker comes with some sort of
Scientific
radio,
remote,
walkie-talkie,
looks like.
remote.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like a
Dr.
meter or
Bunsen
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dr.
meter.
Bunsen Honeydew comes with a like beaker, like a science beaker.
Yeah.
Swedish Chef comes with a whisk and some
Like
vegetable.
a tomato or
Carrot
something,
or
right?
tomato.
Radish. I don't know, yeah, tomato.
I'm gonna go with either one.
Let's see. I think Waldorf. I think I get them mixed up. I'm not sure. One of them comes with a plaque that just has 3 Z's on it and a coffee cup, and the other comes with a laptop
Statler comes with
Yeah.
Statler and Waldorf,
Statler
yeah,
comes with the laptop, yeah.
that has a scooter on it.
Scooter
Which-
on it.
and
yeah.
then-
Which looks like it's a call to Muppets Now.
now,
Or
yeah.
you know what I
Yeah.
think it actually is a call to is the YouTube videos that they would do, the music ones where they would be on the computer.
Yeah,
You
it's
remember
not-
those?
I thought it was
These were YouTube series, not on Muppets
Oh,
Now.
I missed that one. Yeah, the Muppets Now show, isn't it?
No,
It's
there's
the-
like before that they did like a YouTube series where it was like where the Bohemian Rhapsody like video
Oh,
came from
okay,
and
where
stuff
that
like
came
that.
from.
Those would always
Oh.
end with Statler and Waldorf being commenting on it and closing the laptop lid at the end.
That sounds familiar now.
Okay.
But yeah, and then the last one, Rolf comes with looks like a bust of, I'm assuming it's Beethoven
Yeah.
or Mozart or somebody, and some sheet music
Sheet
Or
music.
Emmett from the Lego movie, just painted white or something.
with like slick back hair. Yeah,
Just look back here.
it's like a bust. But yeah, so that's the 12, and they look really cool. And do I need to buy all of these? I don't know. I might get yelled at by my bank.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Your bank account.
Buying too many things.
Yeah. Yeah, there
yeah.
was other blind packs. I remember there was a point where they did like a Super Mario blind pack, and people were able to distinguish like the different color Yoshis and the stuff that was coming in there, depending on the 4-digit code that was on the back of the bag. But it turns out that has changed over time, I guess. Where they no longer tag the bag with the code of the character. Now it's just a random character set that gets dropped in, and that code is now the time and date that it was produced. So they can narrow down like where it was packaged and stuff like that. So I know that on Discord we've had an opportunity to collect like McDonald's toys, like when the 50th anniversary ones came out for Walt Disney World. There was conversations going between members of the community there and members of the FGP Squad trying to trade some of the toys that they had received in their Happy Meals and stuff at McDonald's. We could do the same thing here if people are interested in doing the minifigs, right? Because I've seen people posting these like in Instagram Reels and stuff, and they end up with like 5 Kermits and 2 Gonzos and like a Beaker. And if that's going to be the more common characters, or if you end up with some duplicates, this might be a good way to trade them with other members of the community and get some of the ones that you're looking for. Unless you want like 5, 6, 12, 15, 50 Kermits. I don't know.
The Kermit army.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? But yeah, I mean, we could also talk about it over on Discord. But those are available. I am going to try to figure out how I can end up with at least a Statler and Waldorf.
So where are you seeing? Where are they available? Because I've looked on the Lego website. They aren't available till May 1st. Is there a like in-person store that's selling them already?
So a lot of Targets took them out before the initial date in May. And so a lot of Target stores are already selling them in the toy section. Can't buy them online.
Right.
You
That's
can't
what I'm
get
doing
them at
tomorrow.
Lego.
No.
They're in-store purchases right now.
The sequel of Andrew shopping at Spirit Store.
Next
Next
month
Halloween now to Target. See
Now
who's
the
got
Target,
the
right?
Next month, the Target movie starring Andrew, funded by Andrew.
Disney.
There was a man on a mission. His one desire.
Just shows you in the trailer
Muppets.
grabbing little minifig bags.
You got to put
Squeezing
that
'em.
that bwom in there.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
all the, like trailer. Bwom. This summer.
Strange.
You got to throw a couple of those in there, right?
Exactly. It's every trailer from now on needs to have strange in it.
That's awesome. Hey, speaking of trailers, let's jump over to Thor because we got a teaser trailer for Love and Thunder coming this summer. Thor now has how many films? 27?
Something like that.
Yeah,
I think
right?
There's
He's got
Thor,
4.
Thor 2, Thor Ragnarok, Thor Love and Thunder, and then before that was what? Thor 3, The Search for Curly's Gold, Thor
But not really.
Red, White, and Blonde. Yeah, Thor and the Temple of Doom.
But not really.
Thor searches for his lost blanket.
Thor the new batch, but not really.
Yeah.
So we got this teaser trailer. Some really interesting things that we're seeing in the trailer. Thoughts on it before I jump in with mine on this one?
Well, you guys told me about it. I this was one I missed on because I was still caught up in the moon.
So you
Knight.
you haven't watched the Thor trailer yet?
I've watched a portion of it before we were getting on here, but I haven't.
Okay,
did the
here,
deep dive.
you know what? Before
Okay.
Heyzen gets into it, I'll just
Okay.
describe it to you. Okay,
Thank you.
I'm
I
gonna
can't wait.
play it right now. So okay,
Am
so,
I gonna have
all
to
right,
set
here
up
we
like
go.
a segment like Andrew tells us the plot?
Recaps the this is
helpful.
recapping the trailer. Okay, so here we're starting it. Okay, starts out with young Forrest Gump. I mean Thor, and
Okay.
he's running and he's running and he gets older and he's running.
What a turn.
And, yeah, then Thor is on fire and he gets sad, so he decides to plant his axe thing in the ground to grow some more of them, I guess. And
Grow some more.
and it grows apparently into a big tree. Is the next shot is a big tree that he's sitting underneath at sunset. He's very sad. And he's sitting there, and there's some flags blowing, and he's thinking and contemplating his life. Okay, now we got the Marvel logo. That's just the stuff. All right,
Okay.
he's at the gym. He's wearing a trucker hat.
Oh wait, let me jump in. Let me jump into it.
Okay.
Oh, sweet child of mine.
Oh yeah, that's the music that's going on underneath.
Copyrights.
So he's on a
Okay.
trucker hat, like moving chains around, like that are attached to like the giant like skeleton of like I don't know, a little alien guy or a giant alien.
A little
guy.
giant.
A little
alien
giant alien. I don't know what to call it.
Okay.
He's just kind of Thor like wearing t-shirts. He's like dressed like Peter Quill. Oh look, Peter Quill and the Guardians of the Galaxy show up and stuff happens. They
Okay.
leave. And then it's like apparently like I don't know a buddy cop movie with Thor and Korg. I don't know.
Buddy cop
Korg's here.
movie.
I don't know. Korg's here this July. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's a buddy pirate movie because they get on a boat and
What?
there's pirates. He looks like he's a pirate swashbuckling through space.
Okay.
Yeah, and here's Russell Crowe as Zeus. More Korg.
Okay.
Looks like we're on Hoth for a minute, and more pirate stuff. And then, a boardroom. That's exciting on New
Boardroom.
Asgard. Yeah, boardroom on New Asgard. And then Peter Quill and Thor share some loving looks. And then there's the logo. and then there you see a hammer flying through the air, and it's new Thor, and then it comes out July 2022. So that was the trailer for Love. So you don't need to watch it. That's perfect, exact recreation of what was seen in this trailer.
Yeah.
So
I have a lot of questions then, Heyzen.
take it away, Heyzen.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
This, I mean, look, for a teaser trailer, I think we got to see a lot in this one, and I'm pretty excited about where they're going with this Thor film. I have to say that of all of the sequels, I think Thor's sequels have subsequently gotten better with each one that has happened, especially with Ragnarok. I think that was really like the best one of all of them, and this one has the capacity of possibly overtaking Ragnarok as the best Thor film, at least in my opinion. But when the trailer opens up, we see Thor just kind of, starting off as a child and running through Hoth, like you said, and turning into adult Thor. There's some stuff that happens. He talks about how he doesn't want to, go out and fight crime anymore. Like, he's like, I'm done with this superhero stuff. And he, like you said, he plants Stormbreaker because he wants to grow more Stormbreakers.
To grow it into
and he does, which is great. I am Stormbreaker. And we see a lot of the kind of the aftermath of what's happened in the previous Thor films, but also in Infinity War and Endgame, because we see King Valkyrie. Thor was the rightful heir to the throne of Odin on Asgard, but he just doesn't want the throne, right? So he gives it up to Valkyrie. So now we have King Valkyrie, which is great. And towards the end, we've seen Thor wielding Stormbreaker for some time. There's that famous scene in Endgame where we see Steve wielding Mjolnir because he is worthy. But now we have a new version of Thor played by Natalie Portman taking the mantle of Mighty Thor in the film. So we get our first look at Natalie Portman as Mighty Thor. Thor is going to become Ravager Thor in this film because, like you said, he's dressed like Peter Quill for most of it. There is going to be this super cool montage, like super 80s montage, where he's like exercising and he's going from dude Thor into like Ravager Thor, losing all the weight and everything, making us look bad. So thanks, Chris, for that. And yeah, we get a glimpse of Asgard. We get our first glimpse of Zeus, which is super cool because it does open up a lot of other opportunities. Like we said, when we were talking about Moon Knight, there was all the deities, the Egyptian gods and stuff. There's all the connections that they have to other stories from Greek and Roman, and there's going to be so many opportunities to link them all together. Who knows, we could get Hercules. Exactly. We could get Hercules later on. So this is opening up so many doors. I'm super excited. The trailer looks awesome. I mean, I'm like, I don't even need more. I'm in. Just give me the film already. Come on, Taika.
Yeah, I'm excited for his new catchphrase that they say in the trailer. They say that, right? His new catchphase?
Yeah. What is it?
For love and thunder.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that's going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing. It's nothing like
for
Fetch.
Love of thunder.
It's nothing like Fetch. This is going to happen.
It's totally going to happen. He says it like 5 times in the trailer for Love of Thunder.
So much explained. So
that's why that's the title. It's his new catchphrase.
Okay.
So, Larry, I know we've bombarded you with all sorts of information about the trailer.
All of it 100% accurate.
Yeah, do you feel like we've adequately quenched your thirst for the knowledge that is the Thor Love and Thunder teaser trailer?
I am more than quenched. I am overloaded, like water bloated at this point, I would say, with the knowledge you guys have given me. I'm thankful that to digest that, I will rewatch the teaser trailer. Again, the first time, like I said, I didn't watch the thing like with the full eye look, and the reason why is because I'll just give you guys a side note. Speaking of Moon Knight, when I went to the park I mentioned earlier, Moon Knight. I went to the park, and and it was there at night. I got over to Avengers Campus, and they were doing photo ops of Mr. Knight. And I gotta tell you guys, oh my gosh, I'm gonna share. I haven't had a chance yet, but I'm gonna put in our chat at least to share the quick video shot I got. It is so cool to see Mr. Knight, Moon Knight version in like person, and they were taking fairly, good photo ops, like they've been doing, still like a little bit of a distance, but he was having interactions with the fans. I didn't get to get in on the line because it was popular, and it's really cool. So if you get a chance to go down to the park with DCA and get an Avengers Campus, Mr. Knight is my favorite. I know Moon Knight's original costume, or whatever you want to call it, get up, suit, looks cool, but I'm a fan of Mr. Knight. It looks a lot more fun to interact with. He does play the character really cool.
That's so cool, man. I'm looking forward to when we finally have an opportunity to go back to Avengers Campus, especially considering that the last time I was there was my first time, and so if you listen to the episode where I talked about it, I didn't take a camera or anything with me. Like, I wanted to fully enjoy my first time in Avengers Campus, but now I've had a taste, and now I want photos, and now I want to take my camera, and I just want to go crazy snapping all sorts of stuff in Avengers Campus. So did you feel like you needed to get yourself a suit like Mr. Knight's suit as well?
If I lost 20 to 50 more pounds, or maybe, because he'll definitely rock the suit better than I would, but I just wanted to interact with him as a character. Like, I get it, Spider-Man kind of has that same look on, like, the masking, but there's something about seeing the real, like, light up eyes when you're there, and then him interacting with people. It was really cool. I liked it. It's a different character from Marvel that has a little bit more the people that are reenacting that Moon Knight, which, for your kids or even for yourself, it's really cool because they did a really good job from the interactions I saw when he was interacting with fans. He just played the character really well as being Mark and Steven. Let's put it like that. It was really good.
That's cool. I really love what they're doing on Avengers Campus. Every time that there's a new character or a new version of a character,
it's cool.
We saw it a lot with Loki when that was happening. I don't think we saw it a lot with WandaVision. I know we
That's
saw.
That's what I was wondering.
I don't think we saw.
That was
a lot.
like the first one, and so that was.
Well, it wasn't open either.
Was it? Yeah, it wasn't open. So they
Yeah.
did like the like photo like thing. Like it was
But
like
you
the
think
TVs
we'll
or
see
whatever.
Wanda soon?
Oh, I'm
'Cause
sure we
all
will.
know what's
For-
coming.
Yeah.
For Strange.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm sure we will. I'm just wondering how they're gonna handle having so many characters and new, like the variants and everything. Are we only gonna see like one per week? Are we gonna see like a parade of new characters? Like, like,
Here it is, the MCU parade. It's like 400 people.
I mean, who
every
knows,
Loki,
right?
every Moon
you
Knight.
never know.
You never know what they're gonna do, and especially considering that they have that new car that they debuted at Paris that we posted on the Instagram account.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Avengers
That
famous
thing.
truck.
Yeah,
sick.
look, I'm not for these petitions that people tend to put out because, quite frankly, look, they don't go anywhere, right? But if ever there was a time to start a petition, it's to get one of these here at California Adventure.
Please.
Right? It looks cool.
I just want a picture by it.
I want to buy one as my everyday vehicle. Like, get Tesla to give you some kind of like battery powered whatever and power it however you want. Heck, put pedals on it and I'll Fred Flintstone that thing. I don't care.
Okay, there you go.
There
you're really helping the
That's what I'm
environment.
saying. I just want one of these to drive.
Yeah, seriously.
So-
yeah. Buy me. I don't even care.
Yabba-dabba-doo.
So yeah, super psyched. You know what? Let's leave Moon Knight for next week since Mel, I know, likes to
Tease
talk
it
about
out.
Moon Knight.
Yeah.
We'll have 2 episodes to talk about, so we'll leave that till next week.
Good, because I forgot what happened in this last episode.
It was so good, man. This
So
episode,
good.
I'm sure if I thought about it, I could figure it out.
this episode was good, man. There's so many
Next
good
week.
things happening with this one. I'm telling you.
I think a lot of people got to digest
Oh, you
that
know
teaser.
what? No, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, that's true. There's a lot of info in that trailer as well, especially since Andrew
Which
like
you guys just
120%.
laid down.
Yeah,
It told you exactly everything would
Accurate.
happen.
Right?
With the Guns N' Roses underneath.
Right.
Just-
I can't wait for that catchphrase. I'm so excited.
For love of thunder. He stubs his toe.
Every single time.
So Ravager Thor, that implies that he's going off into space with like Yondu's group and stuff. Is that the same like group? Is that what I'm led to believe?
Well, I mean, when we last see Thor, he's kind of hanging out with the Guardians, right? So
yeah.
For the most part, I think that he's going to be a part of the Guardians, at least for a portion of the first part of the film, and then he's gonna say, you know what, guys, I'm done, man. I want to retire. Like Steve retired, Tony's gone, everyone else is just kind of doing their own thing. I just want to kick back and grow Stormbreakers from now on. And so he decides, he just wants to start a Stormbreaker farm, right? So he wants to retire, and he does, and he just kind of hangs out at home.
That's an exciting movie.
Yeah, so
I mean, pretty much summed up what is the movie?
Farmville, the movie.
No, what is the one? Is it the one that I can't think of the name with Matt Damon that he gets stuck in space? What is that movie called?
That's
pretty much it.
Martian.
Oh, The Martian.
It's The Martian. That's it.
He's just they're just like growing potatoes or something. Like
right. He's trying to create life on a different planet. But I'm thinking, you know what? I don't want to see potatoes. I want to see
Stormbreakers.
Stormbreakers. I want to see that grown.
And then he'll take a little piece of Mjolnir, and then he'll grow another one of those. It's great. The farm's gonna be
Well,
fantastic.
then that's like, you've seen those videos where they take the little knife and they transplant like a piece from one plant to the other. So that's how you put a little plastic wrap around it. So then you get hybrid hammer things.
Oh.
And, yeah.
So you don't even need the elves anymore. You just kind of graft your own Mjolnir and Stormbreaker.
Yeah, you can get all kinds of stuff in there. Put a little, I don't know, cucumber with it.
Ooh,
I don't know.
Eat your
it's
heart
a
out, Mark
snack,
Stewart.
dude. And you know what? It already kind of happened, right? Because Stormbreaker's handle was technically a part of Groot.
Yeah, and it's half hammer, half axe.
Yeah,
so there's already a hybrid there.
So grafting is going to be super easy at that point.
And the axe was from the
body spray
from Gimli from Lord of the Rings.
Right. How dare you, sir?
He goes at my axe.
How dare you, sir?
Oh boy.
All right, so
The rails.
I think it's time to move on from the trailer. If you haven't seen it, we'll post it in the blog post, podketeers.com/409. Take a look. It's only about a minute long, but man, I'm telling you, the visuals are amazing. They give us a lot of information about what's to come. I'm super excited about where this film is going to be taking us, especially with how it looks like it's all tying into Moon Knight. So the excitement levels inside of me are at threat level midnight right now. I'm like, Office fans.
Well, you know what makes me excited, Heyzen?
Let me guess.
You take a guess. I bet you can figure it out.
Let me see. Is it growing your own Stormbreakers?
That gets me a little excited, but it's kind of like a level like 8.
Okay.
Not up to midnight yet.
Okay. Does it have anything to do with a special group of people that help us out with the podcast?
I think you got it. You're on the nose right there, buddy.
Are we talking about the FGP Squad?
FGP!
Yeah! The FGP Squad, or as we call them, our podcast Fairy Godparents, help us out with a monthly contribution via Patreon. If you want some info on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, head on over to podketeers.com/FGP for more information. There you will find a list of some of our top contributors, a little bit of info about what the FGP Squad is, and a link to our Patreon. Being a part of the FGP Squad family does get you some additional perks like access to the Podketeers After Show, random giveaways, access to our happy hour calls, and more. So if you have any questions about it, please feel free to send us a message. You could send us a message on Instagram, or you can message us over on our Discord channel as well. And of course, to all of the members of the FGP Squad, we just want to send a huge thank you again for your continued support. Oh, and FGP Squad, the next happy hour call is coming. Make sure to check Patreon, Discord, Instagram. Set your reminders. It's coming. Yay!
Yeah, and if you sign up for Patreon, you can come with that too. If you're not already, if you're not, let's see there's
time.
Yeah, there's time. You can still get in on these calls.
Still get in on it. That's right.
Mm-hmm. And if you got to wait till next month, there'll be another one next month. But you can come hang out with some cool people. Who's there? People are there. I don't know. I don't have the list.
We're
I
there.
can't
Gotta join
remember
the
everybody.
Discord.
I'm there. Melissa's there. Larry's there.
Occasionally, we
Heyzen's
get
there.
some of our podcast friends. Gavin shows up.
Gavin
Our
shows
friends,
up.
Jason and Julie, part of FGP Disney. Jill always joins us for the calls as well. Members of the FGP Squad, shout out to all of them. We have our group of regulars. We got Drew and Miguel and Heather, Albert, Adriana,
Brian.
Yes.
So
Trying to remember all the people that usually show up.
yeah, it's always fun. Most of the time, we end up playing Jackbox games. If we can get Cluedo going this time around, I think we're going to try to do that. But always a fun group to hang out with.
And if we didn't say your name, we still love you.
True that. True that. I'm sorry I didn't mention you, Andrew. I love you, buddy. And Larry, too.
I'm not an FGP person. I don't put any money
But I still want to mention you.
Oh,
I
thanks.
still want to mention
You're
you.
there.
You're there.
Oh,
So there you go.
thanks.
Thank you for being
Travel down
Thank
the
you
world.
for being a friend.
That was horrible.
That was Heyzen that time. That wasn't me.
Well, who was that? No, that wasn't me.
That's a,
I was
do you
like,
have an upset
Ghost
stomach? Is that what that was?
That was Ghost Donald. Okay, couple more things before we close up the podcast for today. Tarzan's treehouse. There was a report in the Orange County Register, which was a little surprising because I don't recall hearing any rumblings about this one happening. But as you know, there's some pixie dust going all around Pirates of the Caribbean right now. We know that it's going to be closed for some time. And it looks like Tarzan's treehouse is also going to get a reimagining. There isn't anything official. At least as far as we can tell, it looks like this is just a rumor that the Orange County Register was reporting on. But it looks like it's going to be converted to an Encanto tree because in Encanto, Antonio, when he gets his power, he can talk to animals, right? So he opens up his door. He's got the tree of life in there and everything because he now lives at Animal Kingdom, and it's super cool, right? From what we're seeing from the Orange County Register, it looks like the tree is gonna lose its Tarzan theming, and we're gonna get Antonio's treehouse. Your thoughts on this possible conversion, bringing Encanto into the parks yet a little more?
Yeah, it's Disney is in the business of right now of getting what's hot in the parks right now. So it doesn't surprise me at all that this is would switch over to Encanto. It's at least something appropriate going in there. It's not like trying to shoehorn the franchise somewhere else into the park. It does fit within the theme with animals and his whole room in the film is nature, and a treehouse kind of deal is in there, so it all fits. So it's exciting that this is getting a refresh because from what I've heard, Tarzan's treehouse was getting a little long in the tooth, a little worse for wear. They slap a coat of paint on there every once in a while, but Tarzan's one of those films where people don't necessarily go back to that one as often as something like Beauty and the Beast or Frozen or whatever. But what people might not know about Tarzan's treehouse, I believe, was this in one of the Imagineering stories or not? I don't know, or it's just something I know, that Tarzan saved the treehouse from getting demolished. I believe it was a Tony Baxter thing. I hope I'm getting that right. But basically, they're going to knock the tree down because, like, Swiss Family Robinson is something from the 60s. Like, nobody knows what this is anymore. It's getting all wore out. Like, nobody cares about this anymore. We're just going to knock it down. They're like, oh, wait, no. This tree is important. So let's retheme it. Let's get Tarzan in there. So, getting another newer property in there is just going to preserve this feat of engineering for the time, and this, piece of Disneyland history, keeps it in the park for, more years to come. So it's not just, thrown by the wayside and people forget about it, or it gets demolished for more pathways or whatever.
Yeah. So maybe this is like a new resurgence again. That's where I lead in. Like, I'm just like Andrew saying, I don't have any real issue with it. I think for me, it's how fast did this plan come together? Because it seems like it was under refurbishment for a while. I would almost say maybe even before, like we were hearing Kanto turn into something. So when did they decide to pivot? Because I think it aligns with a lot of when I hear the same thing for when I wonder about this too, when they wanted to reimagine Splash Mountain. Like it felt like when they added the Princess and the Frog theme, like they were still like blueprinting that out. They had an idea, but they just weren't like having the full execution yet. And I really feel like this could be one of those things. And they are in the business, like we just got done talking about. DCA does a really good job with adding at least character greetings with their like Moon Knight, and now we're thinking that the Scarlet Witch will be out for things, right? So adding a whole area, though, or technically an attraction, is a lot bigger of a change. And Disneyland, I think, is a lot more coveted by people when you talk about nostalgia and original Yesterland pieces. But like back to what we just said, Andrew, it was something that was going to be gone. The treehouse was going to be taken away the first time, and Tarzan saved it. So I feel like this is a new way to kind of save it, because I like that spot for kids. It is a kid-oriented type of attraction where they can do something physically and go in there. Like I think a lot of times,
walk up
sadly,
these stairs, tire yourself out.
Yeah, there's little interactions inside of there. But I think a lot of times, like people don't get over to Pirates Cove or on the other side of the Rivers of America because it's on the other side of the water. Like it's just like another thing. It takes your time away from being inside near rides. So this still keeps you in that adventure land area. So it's like, it's really cool that they're keeping that there. I mean, we'll see how it comes out, because I mean, that is such a cool scene in the movie. Like I think we talked about that scene in length, about how it would be really cool to add it to like almost like the 3D idea you were talking about a while back, of bringing that whole virtual reality component. If we see some components like that inside of this, like holy cow, you talk about being a bee's knees type of thing for even adults to get their old knees up there, their backs or whatever. That would be cool, but we'll see. I mean, it's already under refurbishment, so I'm like, this is a good time to try and already do it, because people are starting to wonder, like, oh, is it coming back? They're not wondering what's happening to it necessarily. They're just like, is it coming back? And to hear this at least rumor, we're like, well, please do something, because everybody, it's good for kids.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a little different than the reimagining of Splash Mountain, because the reimagining of Splash Mountain, I think, has been an idea that's been it's been circling for years now. I want to say for the better part of 10 years at this point. And I want to say that about 5 or 6 years ago, the idea of retheming it to Princess and the Frog had already come up. And I think because of everything that was happening with the Black Lives Matter movement and everything, Disney used it as an opportunity to say, this is a good time to announce that this is an attraction that we've been thinking about. But they didn't pose it that way. They just said, we're doing it this way. And I think that's why so many people had an issue with it, not knowing that they had already started this process. And I think eventually they talked a little bit about how it was something that they were already thinking about. But by then, people had already started saying, like, oh, it's because of the movement and all that stuff. And it had nothing to do with that. It was something that was already planned, right? And they just happened to announce it during a time when these things were happening. And so it just all kind of felt like that to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right? This one is directly what we were talking about just a moment ago. Like you said, Andrew, it's just they're trying to bring as many of these IPs and as many of these characters into the parks because they're hot. That's how they're going to make a lot of their money. And I think with the parks getting to the point where they're reopening, crowd levels are increasing, and a lot of the limitations that were in place are being removed now. There's a lot of people that are okay with just going to Disneyland because they miss Disneyland, right? But with all of the reservations and with everything, like all of the hoops you have to jump through, there's a lot of people that have just kind of said to themselves, you know what, I'll just go when things calm down a little bit. You know, there's going to be huge crowds. There's going to be a lot of people going back. And I think Disney is introducing a lot of new things into the park, reimagining things like the Main Street Electrical Parade, because they want people to come back, right? They want people to fall in love with Disneyland again. You know, I think that's something that a lot of people just haven't had the opportunity to feel in a really long time for a lot of different reasons, right? A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people couldn't afford to go. You know, people not feeling safe going to the parks. Like, there's tons of reasons why, you know, people wanted to just take a step back from going to the park. And I think Disney's in this mode where they're doing everything they can with new characters like Mr. Knight and Moon Knight and, you know, everything coming to Avengers Campus. This is their opportunity to say, look, we got new stuff. We got all this cool new, you know, these new things coming, these new attractions coming. Come back to the park, you know, come back to the magic. That's kind of, I think, the stage that we're in. They're trying to reintroduce the magic, especially with like all the stuff that's going on in the background. They just want people to feel like Disneyland is magical again to them, you know, because there is that sector of people that have kind of lost that. So this is a great way for them to do it, because like you said, it's a great thing for kids, and having it right next to Indiana Jones is great, because think of how many parents or how many families go where they have kids with them that can't get on Indiana Jones because they're not tall enough yet. Having this attraction directly next door with a property like Encanto that they instantly recognize. Some may recognize Tarzan, but it's not going to have like the oomph that Encanto does right now, right? So having that right next to Indiana Jones, family goes on, they ride their attraction, they're in there for an hour, you know, standing in line, whatever the case is, and the kids just having fun in Antonio's treehouse, right? So it's a perfect opportunity, like you said, to give that to the kids, a really great play area. And on top of that, I mean, I know that Tarzan saved the treehouse before, but I mean, what are they going to do with the space? There isn't enough space to do anything there.
Yeah, it's just make a stroller parking or whatever. Like, I mean, the space, because it's mostly vertical space, it's up in the air above other things. So, but yeah, I don't know what the plan was when they were going to knock it down originally in the 90s, but, you know, it's glad it's still there. It's a very cool and interesting piece of Adventureland, and I'm glad that it's still able to stick around. Even under a new, theme.
Yeah.
You know, as long as they'll, I'm sure they'll have to, you know, hide that Swiska polka in there somewhere, and you know, maybe a little nod to Tarzan in there too. When in there. Yeah, because it's in there now, so it's
yeah, and it makes me really glad they're working on speaking about the Pirates of the Caribbean area, that they're trying to spread that out. That's part of what we're hearing for crowd purposes, because if this is become something in Encanto, oh man, the crowds will be, like you said, they're going to be a lot bigger in that area. And Andrew just mentioned before, it was a stroller parking spot. And just to clarify too, I'm totally happy with the idea that happened with Princess Tiana being input in Splash Mountain. That needed to be updated as a ride. For me, it was like when I got the news, I wanted it to happen. Like, I wanted the full scale idea. And I think I'm more scared about here, is it an idea still, or is it, do they have, like you talk about, what do they have to put in that space? It's vertical space. Like, is this fully thought out? Because you really got to pay homage to that scene if that's what you're doing. But if it's something completely different, where it's like Encanto, we don't even know, like, what are you going to put in there? Like, I think that's pretty exciting too.
I think it's going to be a akin to the Incredicoaster retheme. We're going to put some static figures in there. I mean, that's what's in there now. It's like you turn the corner and here's a fiberglass, leopard or whatever he is. And it just makes some noises, and you know, it's not a animatronic heavy attraction, the treehouse. Right. It's just kind of like a tour of whatever. So I'm assuming it'll be well done, but it will be on the lower budget side of things. But still, you know, it's a B ticket. It's not it's no, you know. It's not
I want shiny things. That's what I'm saying, Heyzen. I'm basically saying I want shiny.
I mean, there might be some screens or some lights or projections or something. But
I'm sure we'll get some kind of variation of the door. When I first read this article, I thought to myself, man, what a really great opportunity to have. How they have like the castle lightings, and they have like It's a Small World doing stuff.
Yes, the tree,
get it to light up, right? I think it would be super cool. But then I thought, by the time that it's dark enough, they're normally queuing up for things like Phantasmic, which is coming back, and there's already a bottleneck that happens in front of Pirates, and the last thing you want is to create another bottleneck because people are hanging out.
Adventureland is just a perpetual
Yeah,
bottleneck.
exactly.
Oh, here we go.
Sadly, that is true.
But
you
But they are working on it, so maybe they feel confident about this. I mean, it's
Maybe.
always going to be a tight
Yeah.
spot, but maybe they feel good about directing traffic for this.
I hope
don't know.
so. I hope so, because if they can somehow incorporate like the tree lighting or something like that, I think that would be super cool.
I'm down.
But realistically speaking, unless they can figure out the logistics with just flow of traffic, guest flow is one of the things that I think Disneyland has always struggled with. Especially
Yeah,
as
it's
more
tight.
people began to get annual passes, it became tighter and tighter whenever you went. So if it's going to create more of a bottleneck, I don't think they're going to do any type of show. But if they can figure out a way where they can continue guest flow at an optimal level where it doesn't become a safety hazard, I think they'll incorporate some kind of like 5 or 10 second like tree lighting thing, and then it's over. Like if you happen to be there, you're there sort of situation, right?
It's kind of like Cars Land lighting up. At
Yeah,
night. It's just
yeah,
like, da-dum,
exactly.
bum,
I was
bum,
thinking
bum.
of the Pixar. You always forget about the Pixie Fairy
Pixie
light
Hollow.
that they have.
Yeah.
Pixie Hollow, like that one, you don't know really unless you're in that area. You don't know about the lighting of the water there and the little cool light ups in the trees, like that.
Tell
stuff
you
like
what
that.
a waste of space right there.
Oh goodness. Here we
I mean,
go.
it's not used. Like it's barely
Yeah.
ever used.
Yeah.
The Tinkerbell characters are not prevalent in media right now. Tinkerbell is
True.
continually,
fairies.
but the rest of the Tinkerbellaverse is not as prevalent as it once was. So that's a huge plot of land if you look at it comparatively to. It's similar in size to like something like the Fantasy Fair side, which is on the opposite side of the castle. There's a big plot of land there that could be used for something.
Like a House of
That
the Future, maybe.
Maybe, or House of the Future, big giant wheel of cheese.
Oh.
Something.
Okay.
Well then.
Or you can grow.
You can grow
Stormbreakers.
Stormbreakers. A Stormbreaker
Yes.
farm. There we go. That's the new Thor meet and greet is inside the big blades of grass.
Nice.
That's funny. So we'd love to hear your thoughts on the conversion or the possible conversion of Tarzan's treehouse into Antonio's treehouse from Encanto. Again, there isn't really an official word from Disney that this is happening. This seems to be just an article that was posted in the Orange County Register. And they do reference a conversation that Bob Chapek had with Lin-Manuel Miranda about bringing Encanto and the characters into the parks, but I don't know what extent that conversation went to. They probably did talk attractions, and because of the fact that there isn't a lot of space available to build anything new, obviously they do have to take over an existing attraction. And there isn't much that you can take over that I think would fit the narrative of Encanto.
yeah.
I think this is probably the best example of something that does fit that narrative. So I think it's a good call. Bringing a newer IP, replacing one that, just people aren't really, like you said, Andrew, it's not really top of mind,
It's not prevalent. It's not, it's not like one of the big ones. I mean, Tarzan's a movie. I love it. But it's not in the forefront of, current things that are going on right now, and it's not considered like the beloved classic Tarzan, like things like Sleeping Beauty or Beauty and the
Right.
Beast or Little Mermaid, Snow White, things like that, which mostly have their own full-fledged attraction. It's like if this was like the Cusco's Treehouse or whatever, like that would have been gone years ago.
Yep.
It's like, even though I would love it.
Sadly, yes. All right, so the final thing we have for today's episode is we got a sneak peek of the Main Street Electrical Parade and the finale float that they're bringing in. We recently talked about the finale float, and we posted some live footage of the testing over on Instagram Reels if you're interested in what that looked like. But yeah, it looks like we were going to be getting some characters that were inspired by It's a Small World. They did give us a little bit of information. There were a couple of Imagineers that were talking about it. And just like we said, they are inspired by It's a Small World. They were very Mary Blair influenced. And it looks like depending on which side you are watching the float from, you may get a different story. So I don't know if the characters are going to be centered or if there are truly two different stories on each side. So you have to watch it twice to get everything. But one thing I noticed in this sneak peek, which was about a minute long, it wasn't very long. We'll put it in the blog post, podketeers.com/409 if you want to check it out. But one thing I was worried about was how vibrant the lights were going to be, because we've seen what Paint the Night can bring to the table, and those are very bright. They're very saturated colors. One thing I noticed was that there was that yellowish hue that you get from standard light bulbs that you don't get with LED lights, and so it looks like they're using standard colored bulbs. And if they're not, man, they nailed that original look using LEDs.
Yeah, so I'm watching this video right now, and they're definitely these are pixel LED string lights. But like our we had an off mic conversation. I'm pretty sure it was off mic conversation about LED light bulbs and CRI. And so this is kind of in that vein where the higher quality LED you get, the more colors you can replicate. And that gives you the opportunities to tweak those lights to look more like an incandescent light, like you're talking about, or more towards the bluer side of an LED that you would typically think. But if you look at some of the videos, they are color changing and in the individual pixels, so that gives you that information that this new float is all LED. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that most of the parade has been converted to LED. I believe that might have happened in the past iteration of this of the parade. But yeah, an LED upgrade, but it's still in the style of the original, like, Christmas lights that everybody used, but it's just the strings plastered everywhere. It's still that style, just in a more energy efficient and vibrant technology.
That's cool, man. I have to admit that I didn't know. I thought they upgraded certain floats to have the LED technology so that they stood out a little bit more. I didn't know they did it to the entire parade, and that they kept that look. But I'll admit, I was wrong. It looks great. Yes, I know I'm always joking and speaking ill of the parade because I want Paint the Night back, but I understand the charm of Main Street Electrical Parade. Don't get me wrong. I understand the nostalgic factor. I understand that it's very meaningful to a lot of people, and I do enjoy the parade. I have sat down and watched it. We filmed it, and it's on the Podketeers YouTube channel, as a matter of fact, from one of the 1,700 times that they ended the parade run. So I do value the parade. It is valuable to me, and it is nostalgic in some ways, but it's not Paint the Night to me. But this float, though, I know I had some reservations about it, and I said some things, but I will be the first to admit I was wrong. The float looks amazing as far as what we've seen so far.
Yeah, I think for when I see these first images, I want to see it with my eyes. I'm not saying nothing looks that it doesn't look amazing. It does. The colors that you guys talked about in that side conversation really did, like, we went real in deep dive on how these lights work. And when now I know watching something with the LED and the brightness that you get, that you see in the light, makes a difference. And I'm just excited again to see something at night that, even though, yes, it's Main Street, Electrical Parade's been a while, it's been around. I think what the thing is that this reimagination of it, that they're trying to, like you said earlier, Heyzen, bring things back with a little bit of enough of a twist that make you want to come back and share that memory with whoever your family members are. So that's, I think, for me, I really want to see it in person again, and it's done that trick. It did do the trick for me to be like, well, I will take a look just to see what it is. And the floats, I mean, they really, I would say they're, I'm not usually the word to use cute, but the new things look cute. They just have that real nice design that you kind of replicate, and you see these things when they reimagine them to a theme of Encanto or the theme of Moana. You know, you really fall in love with it again in a different aspect that works well in a parade at night.
Yeah, like you said, I'm looking forward to getting an opportunity to seeing this in person. I know that as soon as I see it, I'm just gonna like fall for it, hook, line, and sinker. You know, the Disney magic, I think, regardless of how people feel about it, you know, Disney does know how to, you know, bring in their audience, and Disney knows how to cater to the feelings that people have about things like this. And especially when you can make a connection with things like the Main Street Electrical Parade. I think in the video of the teaser, they actually say something along the lines of it's something that's generationless almost, that, you know, with every generation can appreciate it and they enjoy it and stuff.
I just came across it. It says, this is why I think this is one of the most important aspects of why the parade resonates with so many generations. It's a passed down experience. It's about joy. It resonates the same way as it did in year 1 as it did in year 50.
Thank you. And that's exactly what I've always talked about, right? That for a lot of people, the Main Street Electrical Parade isn't this like, oh my God, it's so amazing, it's so vibrant, it's like the highest technology. It has nothing to do with that to them. It's a connection that they have because when they were children. Exactly. And so now you add just enough that you're like, oh, well, now this parade that I grew up with, I can share with my kids. You know, and now their kids are going to see this parade that their parents fell in love with when they were kids. Now there's enough characters and enough of something that's new to the kids that they're going to be like, I love the Main Street Electrical Parade because I saw whatever character, you know, when I saw that parade for the first time. So I get what they're doing and I understand it. Disney knows how to play with your heartstrings, and that's what they're about, right? That's what Disney magic is about. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I fall for it every single time. You know, I'm part of that. Yeah. I'm part of the people that fall for that thing. That's why we do this. That's why we talk Disney, because we're in, right? We're in the thick of it. But yeah, even I, knowing that I appreciate and love Paint the Night more than this parade, can say that
it's just not in the
this
same
one, man, I know it's definitely not, but given the differences, I can appreciate what they've done with this one, and that parade float looks great for what it is in this parade.
Exactly.
And it's the return of, you know, the Blue Fairy too. You know, used to
True.
start it.
True.
Blue Fairy's ending it now. And to answer your question, Heyzen, from like 10 minutes ago, it does look like that each side is going to be a little bit different of this long float. So one side, like
come back.
Yeah, the first section, you know, one side is Coco, and then the other side is Princess and the Frog. And so the lower sections looks like it has representations of a icon from the film, or like it looks like Tiana's is like a riverboat, and things like that. So it looks like a lot of them are, you know, you can kind of see the back of like of Miguel's head when you're on the other side.
The other side.
But you don't get the full experience. So yeah, you get, it's kind of a double-sided thing from seeing this video.
Right on.
Yep.
Well, we'll share it in the blog post, but we'll also share it on Discord. So if you're not part of the community, make sure that you sign up. Again, signing up is super simple. You can either click on the link in the blog post, podketeers.com/409, or you can go to our pinned Instagram story to sign up there. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this new float that's coming, and what your thoughts are of this particular addition to the parade. Did you grow up with this one? Is this your parade? If not, what is your parade? You know, I've been always very vocal that Paint the Night is mine. But, you know, I guess it just depends on when you started going to the park and what your first Disney parade experience was. You know, there's many eras where certain parades didn't exist. Like, I'm sure that there's people that are like, Soundsational is my parade. You know, or
people are like, the Hercules Victory Parade.
Yeah, Victory is mine. You know, or
Oh man,
yeah,
here we
there's
go. Deep dive.
yeah, it just depends on when you started going to the park and what you connected with at the time. So I think it's going to be a great conversation. So I think that's a great place to end this episode. We had a lot of great things that we had an opportunity to talk about. And again,
it's a long one.
It is a long one.
Thanks for hanging in with us, folks.
Yeah, so we're going to wrap it up for this one. New Quizneyland this week. Andrew, a little bit of a sneak peek of what we're getting in this week's episode.
Yeah, I wrote it down this time because I always forget. And so I wrote it down on a piece of paper. So we're talking about pigeons. We're talking Jimmy Kimmel. We're talking Primeval World. And we're talking Disneyland Paris.
Right.
So those are our topics for this week on
Nice.
Quizneyland.
On Quizneyland.
Yeah, I can't do the echo.
I can't. I can't even. So that's it. That's going to wrap up this episode. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep moving forward, and always remember to pass on the magic. Have a fantastic week, everyone.
See ya.
For the love of Thor and Thunder.
For the love of thunder!
Thunder!
Strange!
Part of the Podketeers Network.